So here you will see there are two transverse section. This one is of dicot stem, and here this is of monocot stem. So what are the difference you are able to see here? So here in this case, in the dicot stem, you will see the vascular bundles. These all are the vascular bundles. These are arranged in a ring form. Is it correct? But in the monocot stem, you will see they are scattered throughout the stem. They are scattered in the stem. So this is the main difference. So by looking the vascular bundles, you are able to identify that this is the monocot stem and this one is the dicot stem. And also in the dicot stem, you will find numerous hairs on the outer layer, that is the epidermis. Okay, on the epidermis you will see many epidermal hair, are also called trichomes. So this is the main difference. You are able to identify that which one is the dicot and which one is the monocot stem. Now let's study in detail what are all the tissues the monocot and the dicot stem are made up of. Let's take this section, and in this part we will see what are all the tissues, and similarly in the monocot we will take a little part of it to study the tissues. So let's see here. So this part is the part of the dicot stem and this one is of monocot stem. Let's focus on the dicot stem first. So what you will see, outer layer is the epidermis layer, which contains multicellular hairs. Okay, on the epidermis there are multicellular hairs, also called trichomes, and above to the epidermis there is a fatty layer that is known as the cuticle. This cuticle layer protect the plant from the fungal or the bacterial effect, and also helps to check the rate of transpiration. Then if you move inwards, you will see there is a cortex region. From the hypodermis, this pink color area you will see, this is the hypodermis. Okay, and the cells are collencymatous. Hypodermis is made up of collencymatous cells. Then we have a cortex region, general cortex is there, and then there is the endodermis. So from hypodermis till the endodermis, this is the region of the cortex. Okay, cortex contains three regions: hypodermis, then general cortex, and then endodermis. So this is the cortex region, and you know that endodermis cells are made up of barrel shaped cells. Okay, and this endodermis is made up of starch. It's contains starch, so that's why it is also known as starch sheath. Right, now the region inside the endodermis, okay, whatever the region is there inside the endodermis is considered to be the stele. And what are the regions inside the endodermis? There is a pericycle, there are vascular bundle, and there is a pith. So whatever is there inside the endodermis constitute this stele. Right, now after the endodermis there is a pericycle layer. Now the cells of the pericycle are sclerenchymatous and few are parenchymatous, which are dispersed in the pericycle region. So the pericycle is made up of sclerenchymatous cells as well as of the parenchymatous cells. Okay, parenchymatous cells are dispersed in between the pericycle. So this is the pericycle region. Now if you move inward, then you will see vascular bundles are there. So here you can, this is the phloem and this is the xylem region. In between the phloem and the xylem there is a cambium ring. So the vascular bundles, in the case of dicot stem, they are arranged in a ring pattern. What you will see that they are conjoined, collateral, and open. Conjoined means the xylem and phloem are on the same radius, and collateral means phloem outside and xylem inside, and open means there is a cambium ring in between them. Clear? So the vascular bundles are conjoined, collateral, and open type. And in the xylem, what you will see that metaxylem and protoxylem are there, but the protoxylem is towards inside, and as we move towards outward we will see metaxylem. And such type of arrangement in which the protoxylem is inward and metaxylem is outward, such type of arrangement of xylem is known as endarch. Right, in the root we have seen protoxylem is upper side and the metaxylem is inward. So such arrangement is called exarch, but in the stem you will see endarch type of arrangement of the xylem. Okay, now in between the xylem there is a region. Here you can see in this diagram, these white color portion you will see. So this is the region between the vascular bundles, and this is the non-vascular areas, and this area is known as medullary rays. These medullary rays helps in the radial conduction of material. So radially they conduct the material. Now if you move in the center, you will see there is a pith area. Okay, pith is there, which is made up of parenchymatous cells. Their function is to store food materials as well as waste. So this is the pith region. Okay guys, so this is all about dicot stem. Now you will look here, you just focus on the monocot stem. What are the regions you are able to see in the monocot stem? You will see here epidermis, then below the epidermis hypodermis is there. The hypodermal cells are sclerenchymatous in this case. Just remember this, they are sclerenchymatous. In the dicot stem you will see they are collenchymatous. Collenchymatous means they are thickening at the corners, right? And in the sclerenchymatous you will see that there is a lignin deposition all around. So epidermis, outermost layer, then hypodermal region we will see, then ground tissue is there, and the ground tissue is not differentiated into the cortex, then endodermis and pericycle. Okay, no such regions are there. The cortical cell, ground tissue is present all over the stem, and in between scattered vascular bundle we will see. Okay, so these are the reasons we are able to see in the monocot stem. So epidermis is there. It is a single cell layer which is surrounded by a cuticle layer. Then 2 to 3 layer thick sclerenchymatous cells called hypodermis is there. Then if we move downward, then we will see ground tissue. So this ground tissue fills the whole interior of the stem, and the vascular bundles are there. In the vascular bundles you will see they are of conjoint, collateral and closed type. In this dicot stem you will see cambium ring is there. In the monocot you are not able to see the cambium ring, so they are of closed type. Okay, and the arrangement of the xylem is same as in the case of dicot stem. Means protoxylem is in the center and metaxylem is towards the periphery. So but they are in the form of Y, they are making a Y pattern. Okay, these are the metaxylem and this is the protoxylem, so they are making a Y pattern. And in the protoxylem, near to the protoxylem you will see another cell is there, and this is the cavity. Actually this is known as lysogenous cavity, and it contain water. Okay, water containing cavity is there which is present near to the protoxylem only. Okay guys, so this is all about monocot and a dicot stem. No secondary growth occurs in the monocot stem because xylem is not, cambium is not there, but in the dicot case secondary growth is there. So here is the difference between the dicot stem and the monocot stem. Hypodermis is made up of collenchymatous cells. Here it is made up of sclerenchyma cells. Ground tissue is differentiated into cortex, endodermis, pericycle and pith. Here the ground tissue is not differentiated. Starch sheath is present, in this absent. Pith is there, in the monocot not there. Pericycle is present, no, not there. Medullary rays are present, in this case medullary rays are not there. Vascular bundles open, closed. Vascular bundle arranged in ring, scattered. So this you will see and learn it. Okay, now see the secondary growth in the dicot stem. Observe this figure. What you will see, this cambium is present in between the xylem and the phloem. This cambium is the intrafascicular cambium. The cambium which is present between the xylem and the phloem is known as intrafascicular cambium. Now near this vascular bundle you will see medullary rays are there. Now some of the cells of the medullary rays becomes meristematic and they start forming the interfascicular cambium. They start forming the cambium over here also. So the intrafascicular cambium and interfascicular cambium makes a complete ring. So complete ring of cambium is formed. Now this cambium start forming the secondary xylem and the secondary phloem. Secondary xylem towards inward. Okay, towards the inside secondary xylem formation occurs, and towards the outside secondary phloem occurs. So secondary xylem formation is quite faster as compared to the secondary phloem. So as soon as the secondary xylem is means it is continuing in increasing in number, So due to which the secondary phloem or the primary phloem, they get crushed because they are shifting towards outward, they get crushed. Okay, now later on, so this is due to the vascular cambium, means the formation of secondary xylem, and secondary phloem is due to the cambium, that is the vascular cambium. Now the next activity is the cork cambium. So later in the life there is cork cambium also. Cork cambium forms outer cork and the inner phallodome. Phallodome means secondary cortex. The outer cork, that is also known as phallum, and inner phallodome. So outer phallum and inner phallodome, and in between there is a cork cambium. Cork cambium is known as phallogen. So phallum, phallogen and the phallodome together makes the peridome layer. So outer peridome layer is formed in the dicot stem. So this secondary growth is due to the vascular cambium as well as due to the cork cambium. This is the secondary growth, and these cork cambium and this vascular cambium are formed from the lateral meristem. They increases the girth of the plant. That's why it is called the secondary growth. In the primary growth, you will see that the apical cells are there, which increases the length of the plant, right? This is how the secondary growth occurs in the plant. Now during the growth, you will see during the autumn season, you will observe that autumn wood is quite dark and narrow. So during the autumn season, the activity of the cambium is slow, and the xylem which are formed is very thick walled and with narrow lumen, due to which the wood which is formed is dark in color. So dark green you are able to see, it is your autumn wood. But as the spring season comes, the cambium become more active and it start forming secondary xylem with thin wall and more wider lumen. So the wood color is quite lighter. So here you will see light wood is there, dark wood is there, means spring wood and autumn wood. So in this way, the spring wood and the autumn wood, they constitute the one year of the plant. So by counting these rings, you are able to identify the age of the plant. Okay, this is about the autumn and the spring wood. Then there is hardwood in the center and the sapwood at towards the periphery. This one, which is in the center, that is the hardwood. This wood is because of the secondary xylem, which is older, and the older xylem gets filled with, accumulated with organic materials like tannins, resins, oils, gums, some essential oils, and due to which this wood becomes very hard and durable and also resistant to the attack of microorganisms and insects. This wood is known as the hardwood. Whereas this one, which is towards the periphery, is the sapwood. It is lighter in color. Secondary xylems are very active. They help in the transport of water and minerals. So this wood is the sapwood and this one is the hardwood. Right, guys? Next, move on to the lenticels. In the woody stem, you will see some lenticels are there. Okay, these lenticels are formed by the phallogen layer, which cut off closely arranged parenchymatous cells on the outer side, forming a lens-shaped opening. Okay, so these lenticels are formed from the parenchymatous cells, which gives a lens-shaped opening, and this helps in the exchange of gases in the stem of the plant. Clear, guys? So these lenticels are mostly found in the woody trees.